I'm Igor and this is The List Building Lifestyle, a podcast for anyone who wants to build a wildly profitable email list working from home. If you'd like to make six figures, travel the world, and help people improve their lives in the process, then this podcast is for you. I also invite you to attend a free workshop at igor.ac where I'm teaching how I made $21,779.45 in affiliate commissions by sending just 481 clicks to my affiliate link in one day. I'm also explaining why I walked away from ClickBank and I don't promote ClickBank offers anymore, as well as the 5 things I look for in a perfect affiliate offer. I'm even going to show you the one-page website that I used to make over $500,000 in affiliate commissions this year, and I'll even bribe you to attend this workshop by giving you a $497 value course that shows you how to cherry-pick high-converting affiliate offers for your next affiliate promotion. In addition, I'll even give you the 3 offers I'm promoting right now that are making me money as we speak. All that and more at igor.ac. And now it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Welcome to the List Building Lifestyle Show, another episode where we explore internet marketing with Igor K-Feds and Terrence Lackey. Hello, Igor. How you doing, my man?
Hey, Terrence. Doing great. We're finally talking about traffic, the one thing everyone wants to know.
I know. I've been waiting for this for a while. Traffic. Everybody loves traffic, the lifeblood of the internet and internet marketing. So today, what are we going to explore about traffic?
Well, we're going to be running a bit of a comparison about, between free and paid because I'm seeing lots of confusion around the topic of should I do free traffic? Should I do paid traffic? What if I don't have a lot of money? Should I still do paid or free? So people really, as far as I'm concerned, people are misguided in how they need to make that decision.
Yeah, this is something that I struggle with myself quite a bit in my early days, and even now consider it. Should I be pursuing that free traffic? Should I be paying for traffic? What's the criteria? Is your time versus money? I think, right, Igor?
Yes, exactly. There's really only 2 schools of thought for traffic, and people think there's free and there's paid. That's the most common way to think about it. But what I've discovered, and I wrote about this in my book, the List Building Lifestyle book, which you can get on Amazon. What I've discovered is there's actually no such thing as free. There's no such thing as free traffic because you end up paying for it in some way. And oftentimes you are paying for it not just with your time. Let me explain. So I got this buddy of mine. He sells insurance and his name is George. George is a really nice guy, a really nice dude, and a really good, responsible insurance salesman, unlike many insurance salespeople out there. In fact, he actually protected me from making a bad investment early on, about 8 months or so ago, where I had no idea what I was going into, and he was the one to actually help me read the fine print. And amazing guy, really grateful for him. And I was having coffee with him, and he was telling me about how they're driving leads for their business. Because as an insurance salesman, what I found out is that insurance salespeople, they're kind of like affiliate marketers, Terrence. They work on a commission. So if they sign you up for an insurance policy, they get a premium. Oftentimes it can be ranging between $800 all the way up to $25 or $2,500 or maybe $3,000, but they get paid a premium. So for every sign up, they get paid a commission. Now the thing about insurance salespeople, they have to generate their own leads. There's no company that supplies those leads for them. And, if they choose to own their own brokerage, which in this case, George does. He owns his own brokerage with his father. And they're the ones responsible for driving the traffic. And I asked him, so how do they generate the leads? And he says they're doing search engine optimization. And I said, okay, but I know your biggest competitor that has a business about 10 times your size, they're doing lots of PPC. They're doing lots of Facebook ads and Google AdWords, to be specific. And he says, yeah, but I don't like paying for traffic. I say, okay, well, I guess it's not for everyone. Although I'm a big advocate of paid traffic, so tell me, how do you do your SEO, search engine optimization? He says, well, first you have to create lots of content. And that's why I have 4 people working for me getting paid $5,000 per month to write insurance-related content. I was like, so you're paying $20,000 per month in salaries for SEO, to get content for SEO. It's Yeah, and then I also have to get backlinks, and backlinks cost about 300 to $500 each. And he's a Canadian, and those are like US dollar figures, which means you have to multiply it almost by 1.5 at this point. And I was like, and how many do you need per website? And I think he said about a dozen or something like that. So eventually, he ends up admitting that he spent well over, I think at the time, several $100,000 in order to generate all this free traffic. And turns out he still hasn't even gotten even on it. He didn't break even yet. So he was still down on all that quote unquote free traffic. How about that?
Wow. Man, he needs to definitely take a look at that and see what the results are, right? Because that's what it costs per click and what the conversions are.
Yeah, but you see, when you drive free traffic, you don't even look at it that way. Your mindset is mistakenly diverted into thinking that it's all free when it's really not. And that's what I discovered myself about a year into my journey in internet marketing. I focused on free traffic at first because I was broke. I thought I couldn't afford paid traffic. And so what I've done is I started social media accounts, right? Remember, I shared it on the podcast many times. I also shared in my book, creating MySpace profiles, Facebook profiles, Twitter profiles, then getting software to automate it all, then moving into blogging and buying keyword research software to do the keyword research, then buying backlinks for the blog, then, creating lots of articles, which basically end up spending thousands upon thousands. I mean, do you know why I became a decent writer? Because I wrote like crazy. Because
that would do it.
Because that's how I thought I'm getting traffic. So yeah, free traffic, what I've discovered after investing myself into this thing for like at least a year or so and not making anything back, I realized, look at all this time and money I've invested into quote unquote free traffic, and I'm like upside down on it. In fact, I'm not even getting paid. So free traffic turned out to be one of the most expensive things I've ever done. And this is why I moved into paid traffic, which brings me to the other school of thought in internet marketing. It's basically the people who realize, look, if I set up a system where I can pay for my clicks and pay for my leads, I can scale up and down as I please, and as long as I can figure out how to turn these leads into customers, which is what I focused on since moving away from free traffic and really just never looked back.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So it's counterintuitive when you see free traffic. That's really not free. And then, going to paid traffic frees you up, right? You're telling me it gives you additional time to analyze the traffic and the conversions and make a business decision on the actual money rather than trying to generate this free traffic, which is really not free because your time's not free. And like in the case of your friend, all the hours he put in with his staff, it amounted to a significant amount of money. Wow. So paid traffic versus free traffic, your recommendation sits with free traffic. Am I right?
No, paid. I recommend paid traffic.
Just trying to catch you there. So paid traffic, absolutely. So what's the best method for a beginner? I'm a beginner. I have a very limited budget. What do you recommend, Igor? What are my first steps with regard to this paid versus free traffic?
I'll talk about the first steps in a second. I want to share one more thing about George, because it gets worse than that. It gets worse than just investing yourself fully into something and seeing no return as well as spending money. You see, the problem with the free traffic approach a lot of times is that not only you're competing against a ton of other people, which in and of itself is an issue, but also when you're operating on, say, something like search engine optimization, like George at one point had 8 properties, 8 websites that were promoting insurance stuff on the first page of Google. But then Google changed their algorithm again. And Google doesn't announce it, they just change it, right? And guess what? 4 properties out of 8 got off the first page. Now that means half of the lead gen is off. So all that work, all these investments that he made, everything just got slashed in half. And then he consulted an SEO guy asking how long will it take him to rank those websites back on the first page, because we all know that people don't really go beyond the first page. You Google something, you look at the top of the page, the first 3 results, and then you don't even look at anything else. And so he was told that it's going to take another 5 months to rank those websites back.
Wow. So that's money down the drain. And he has 5 months to dig out of a hole, perhaps, right? Maybe.
Maybe, and he still will have to pay to get those websites ranked by creating content, building backlinks, and yada, 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 yada. Yo, it's Igor. If you're loving the content, hop on over to listbuildinglifestyleshow.com for more free training and a free transcript of this episode. Oh, and I'd really appreciate if you logged into iTunes and rated the show. It really helps. Thanks. So not only free traffic isn't free, but it's also not sustainable. And that's the kind of thing that doesn't happen with paid traffic, unless, of course, you're using networks like Facebook that ban people for no damn reason. I think I've spoken plenty at this point about how much I hate Facebook ads. But in case this is your first time listening to this podcast, I hate Facebook ads. Okay, so when it comes to paid traffic, it's really not a matter of which traffic source you want to use, because that may change based on the product. For example, if you want to promote a face cream, you may want to use some native advertising, so you can advertise to a much wider audience. If you want to promote a make money online opportunity, then you may want to use something like solo ads, because that's a niche market and you can find some really good email lists for that. And so that changes between different products and niches, and we're not going to go into that. In fact, you know what? If you really want to find out about a bulletproof paid traffic strategy, head over to igor.cx. That's igor.cx for a free training on traffic. I'll show you how I generate as much as 967,822 clicks per 30 days on complete autopilot using a paid traffic, and then I make that traffic pay for itself, right? So that's igor.cx. Now, as with regards to strategy, though, start with what you can. Just scrape some money together and start with what you can, and then that will put you in a position where you'll have to make the traffic work. You lose some money at first, and that's okay, but it's nothing compared to the upside of becoming an expert at converting leads into customers, because that gives you true independence. Because if there's any skill that pays better than real estate, better than the stock market, better than anything else, that skill is to be able to generate the lead, to pay for lead, to generate the lead, and then to convert that lead into a customer. And then, of course, the question becomes, okay, what if I don't have the money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what if I'm broke and I'm just getting started from zero?
Exactly. So that's really the big problem. And when I started, I was literally broke. I had no job. My first autoresponder payment, I had to borrow from my dad because I didn't even have a credit card. So what I've done, and I don't know about you, Terrence, but what I've done to get money in order to fund my business, in other words, in order to fund my traffic, first off, I got two jobs. I got two jobs because with one job I was paying the bills, with the other I was making some extra money for my traffic. The second thing I've done, I became a freelancer, because as I was developing in this business, I acquired some skills. I could write some copy, I could build some capture pages, write some emails. So I started offering my services to other people who were willing to pay me in order to avoid doing some sort of task. And oftentimes I would even make more money to the people who were hiring me than they paid me. I remember one time I wrote a sales letter for a friend of mine for $750, where he was selling a $250 product, and he ran a promo to his list and he sold 20 units. And I also wrote him an upsell letter that was selling a $1,000 product for, I think, an extra 150 or 250 bucks. So I was really happy because I made $1,000 as a copywriter, but he actually made multiples of that and then continued to use that sales letter for several more years. So I became a freelancer. I started trading my hours and my skills for dollars, and I was able to quite handsomely fund my traffic generation that way without dipping into my monthly budget. And then also, it's a cliche, but I cut expenses. I stopped going out. I stopped buying stupid stuff that I didn't need. I really cut down my spending. I skipped meals as much as I could. I ate over at my parents' place. So I did everything to spend less and make more, right? And as a result, I've built a small budget that I could work with every month. And then as a result of that, I was able to figure out how to convert better. And then I created a self-funding traffic machine eventually. So that was my approach. And it's a very common approach for many big marketers. And there's a reason for it, because free traffic is just not something you can build on.
Yeah, Igor, this kind of resonates with me because I first started out and I actually was in the realm of free
Yeah.
sites to a niche and trying to rank that and trying to they call them sniper sites at the time, and that's something that I first got into. And I'll tell you what, I was spinning my wheels until I got into your solo ad business. Is one of the first solo ad purchases I made, and it was tough. I was like pulling a vice out of my hands, getting my wallet and that card out to actually purchase it. But once I did, I got the results I got were just phenomenal based on all the work I was doing. I like your idea of freelancing to earn money. You're taking something that's predictable income, which is freelancing, then you're taking that and putting it into predictable outcome, which is the paid traffic. And that's going to be that seems to me like to be so much more productive than the stuff I was doing back then, worrying about backlinks and worrying about how my pages were constructed and running all kinds of SEO algorithms and not getting results that I wanted and this and that. So definitely, I think this is great advice. So paid traffic wins by far. And I love what you mentioned. It bears worth mentioning again is that there's free training over at igor.cx. That's free paid traffic training. And that's a great place to start. Plus you got to get you have to have some type of budget for this. And so you do what you got to do. Whether you have to cut out that Starbucks, and these days it's probably easier to do than most. But you got to have a budget, and then you can predict it and go forward. So, man, that's a great episode, Igor. Any final words on traffic, free versus paid?
Yeah, I really think it comes down to you being an entrepreneur versus a wannapreneur. A wannapreneur talks about the big ideas and they talk about how they would like to start something, but they're never able or willing to risk anything. Right? Even if it's $100, they're not going to risk anything to achieve that big outcome. A true entrepreneur, which is what we are, right? If you want to be an affiliate marketer, you're an entrepreneur because you're not going for a job. You're going for being independent. An entrepreneur is willing to take risks. In fact, is excited to take risks in favor of potentially gaining a big outcome. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Anyone who's successful out there at one point or another had to take lots of risks. In fact, you look at the most successful people out there, people like Elon Musk. You read Elon Musk's biography, the guy just goes from one huge risk to another all the time. Now, obviously, we don't all have a stomach for it. Now, I'm not saying you should foreclose on your house and mortgage your house and go and like dump all of your life savings into an MLM. That's just stupid. But taking small calculated risks with your traffic and analyzing results, and then taking additional risks after you've tweaked your system, that's how you do it. And of course, goes without saying. I mean, it's in the name of the show. You build a list. You don't just send traffic to a link. You build your list. And that's actually one of the things that I teach in that free training at igor.cx. A big part of why people become successful with paid traffic is not because they send traffic to an incredible offer that converts right away. That's a bit of a myth. That's possible in maybe under like 3% of circumstance. Most of the time, they generate leads, and then they massage the leads and follow up with the leads to make money. So that's a long-term game, folks. It's not a short-term thing. And yeah, I agree with you with regards to freelancing. It's somewhat of a job approach to funding, right? So if you can't afford to take on debt, if you don't have a credit card with a big spending capacity, then freelancing and operating on cash basis only is a great way to do it. That's how I've done it. Remember, I did not even have a credit card when I started.
Well, there you go. Do you want to be an entrepreneur or a wantrepreneur? Super. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, listeners. And we will be in your earbuds next time.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Get access to previous episodes, the transcription of today's show, as well as other exclusive content at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also, don't forget to claim your free seat at the workshop I'm hosting this week, where I showed the two-step system that made me the top affiliate for people like Matt Basak, John Crestani, Richard Legg, Michael Cheney, and many, many others. In fact, on this workshop, I'm going to show you the exact approach I take whenever I promote an affiliate offer, the exact offers I promote, as well as how I was able to make over $500,000 $10,000 in commissions using my small list of just 18,000 people promoting a weird type of product that almost no one else promotes. All that is yours at igor.ac. So go ahead, claim your seat right now, and I'll see you there.